Hello everyone, Happy New Year 2013. I'm finally here for an update. I've been wanting to do this for a while but have been extremely lacking in motivation. I wanted to do an update because I am 3.5 years post-op from my vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is a weight loss surgery, and I'm 8 months post-op from my skin removal surgery. I had the lower body lift, arm lift, and fat transfer to butt by Dr. Aga in May of last year, so May of 2012. So I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what I've been going through lately. 2012 was a very stressful year for me. So I had a lot of good stuff like getting married and getting my skin removed, but I also had a ton of stressful stuff that I was dealing with, and a lot of it had to do with like financial things, and my monthly payment for the skin removal surgery didn't help any of that. But anywho, going into the holidays in 2012, I kind of decided to give myself like a 5-pound holiday window, and I wasn't really paying much attention to what I was eating. So I figured I was probably going to go up around 5 pounds. I ended up hitting the top of what I've weighed in these past, 3.5 years. I got up to, the scale hit 160 one day, and I'm normally around 151 to 155. So I'm at 158 now. I'm not completely stressed out trying to get that off. I know that when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, it'll come off naturally, and my body will kind of float to where it feels comfortable. So I kind of wanted to talk about the mental part of weight loss and being out as far as I am. I think there's a lot of things that have to be addressed when you lose weight if you want to keep it off. I've talked a lot about the emotional stuff. Today I want to talk about the mental part of it and how also the physical part of the food can set us back. But for me, and I have my little notes here, so you guys are gonna see me looking over. The mental part of it is like, how we think about ourselves, or how we think about the scale, or how we think about our weight, or how we think about food, or how we perceive ourselves. And a lot of people complain that when they first lose weight, they still see themselves as being heavy. I don't necessarily see myself as being heavy, but something that I've had to work on recently is when I was fat, I thought that there were two people. I thought there were skinny people, and I thought there were fat people. So now that I've lost weight, and I'm definitely not skinny, then my mind kind of deduces, well, that means I'm fat. But I know I'm not fat. So it's kind of like this conundrum. And I know that sounds silly, but the thing is, I had to kind of make myself realize that there are more than two types of people in the world. They're all different shapes and sizes. And even though I'm not skinny, that doesn't mean that I'm fat. So I am what you would call probably average or thick, or, there's a lot of sizes in between. And I think that's one thing that I really struggled with. And I have to be careful about how my thoughts are, because that can lead me to the refrigerator, that can lead me to the fast food, that can lead me to eat things that I shouldn't eat. So dealing with the mental part of it this far out is really important. At this point, I don't really have a lot of restriction. I definitely can't, gorge myself at the buffet like I used to. But there was a point where I realized that I can eat a lot more than I could even, 6 months ago. So I have to be cautious of the choices that I make. And at this point, this far out, I really have to use all the education that I learned over the past few years and stick with it. It's very easy to get off track. It's very easy to make excuses. It's very easy to say, oh, it's so hard. But the reality is that now I have the education and the knowledge of how to prevent going back. So before, when I had surgery, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I know now. And my thought is, if I knew then what I knew now, I probably wouldn't need surgery. I'm grateful that I had it, because that's how I came to realization on all these things. But the reality is, I realize now that there was a physical component to the food addiction I was experiencing. I knew about the emotional part, but I didn't know that there were specific foods that really, made me react differently and made me crave them and all that sort of stuff. So I have the education now that I need to leave those things alone. And as long as I leave them alone, I don't crave them. But as soon as I eat them, I do crave them. So that's kind of where I got off during the holidays, and I gained a little bit of weight. But the other thing I've learned to do is watch naturally thin people that have never struggled with their weight and see how they react to different situations. My husband and I always weigh the same. So he is normally around 151 to 155. He did the same exact thing I did. He's around 158 right now because of the holidays. Now, he's not freaking out. He's not crying. He's not going on a diet, because that's just what normal people do that have never struggled with weight problems. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. So watching him has helped me realize that I need to be a little bit more calm, because if I had freaked out over that 8 pounds and forced myself to diet when I wasn't ready, or forced myself to like work out like a crazy person, that may have sent me in the other direction. And that's what I used to do in the past, is I would get so focused on losing weight that I would lose it in an unhealthy way, and then I would gain back twice as much. And, you know, that would have set me into a tailspin. I hear a lot of people talking about what they're doing wrong and what they shouldn't do. So I actually compiled a list of all the things that I'm proud of myself for doing, that I'm still doing. And I encourage you guys to do the same, is stop focusing on what you shouldn't be doing. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done this. I should be eating that. And focus on all these changes that you've made, that you've accomplished. So these are the things that I've been able to carry out over the past 3.5 years. For one, I've kept off 84 of the 95 or so pounds that I lost. Even when I'm eating bad, I have standards, so I don't eat the things that I used to eat. I never eat high fructose corn syrup. It's very rare, like 99% of the time, that I will not eat hydrogenated oils, trans fats, or MSG. So again, I have standards even when I'm eating poorly. It's extremely rare that I eat fast food. There was times when I ate at fast food 2, 3, 4 times a day. I would eat at 3 fast food restaurants for one meal. It's very rare that I eat fast food now. And if I do eat fast food, I'm very picky about what I choose off the menu. The other thing is, when my husband and I go out to a restaurant, I'll say 9 times out of 10, we split our order. Like we'll order something and we both eat off of it. The other option is we pick something that both of us like, we share it, and then we still have food left over. I eat things that I hated before, like cauliflower, salmon, onions, garlic, sweet potato, spinach. And what's funny is those things are like the biggest staples of what I eat now. And I just hated them before. Like I wouldn't even eat something if cauliflower or an onion or a sweet potato had touched it. Like I hated them that much. And then the other thing is that I know how certain things react in my body, like sugar. I know that when I eat sugar, I gain weight. I know that when I eat sugar, I crave it. And the strangest thing is, like, I don't normally track my food anymore, but if I do, I'm around 1,800 calories. If I were to eat less, let's say I lowered it to 1,200 calories, but if I were eating sugary type foods, I would still gain weight. So that lie of calories in, calories out is just that. It's a lie. The type of food that you eat matters a lot. It makes a huge difference. I would say nutrition is, and I've said this before, is 80% of the battle. It really is. Genetics and exercise is the other portion of that. What else? People now turn to me for health advice. I eat more closely aligned to nature. I eat things like nuts, fruits, flaxseed, coconut oil, spaghetti squash, all things, again, that I either had never heard of before or that didn't eat. I didn't know how to cook it. Quinoa is another one. I had no idea what that was. Brown rice, whole grains, all this stuff that I eat now that I never ate in the past. The biggest enemy is processed foods. And until people are willing to admit that and get away from it, they're always going to struggle with these weight problems. So I already have, I know I have a predisposition to be overweight and to crave foods and to turn to them when I'm having emotional issues or stress. So I have to be very cautious of what types of foods I allow myself to eat. I have to kind of be like the guard dog that, doesn't let stuff get into my mouth. And that's really what you have to do when you're this far out, is you have to use the education and you can't make excuses. Again, I got off during the holiday season, but I knew what I was doing. I was fully aware of it. In the past, I didn't know why I was gaining weight. I didn't know why I couldn't stop eating. Now I know. So I can't make an excuse and say, I don't know why this is happening. I do know why it's happening. It's the choices that I've made. It's the foods that I'm choosing to eat. Unfortunately, the food companies don't care about us. They put a bunch of crap in the food to keep you coming back. They want return customers. I am probably going to end here. I'm going to make a second video talking about my excess skin removal. But in case people don't watch that video, I'll just give you a quick shot of what my stomach looks like now. And a full body shot. So here's me. I am 5'4". I weigh 158 pounds. I generally wear a size 6 and a medium top. All right, and here is my stomach since having the lower body lift. One thing that I've noticed is when I lose weight, it comes off of my butt, and when I gain it, it goes to my flank area. So a word to the wise is, once you've had your skin removed, even going up and down 5 or so pounds on the scale, when you lose a pound or two, it might come off of one area, and when you gain that pound or two back, it might go back to a different area. So that's something you have to be cautious of. But Happy New Year, and I hope you guys will tune into my video talking about the update from my excess skin removal. Good luck to wherever you are in your journey. You can do it, and feel free to ask me any questions if you have them.